Well, we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to officially get started here. So let me share my screen and let's be right on time. Okay. All right. You seeing the next level mentorship screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So hi, everybody. Welcome to our next level mentorship lead generation and conversion workshop. Today, we're going to talk about nailing your squeeze page copy. Okay, so I'm going to show you something here that a few of you have already seen before, and I apologize that you've already seen it before, but you know what? I don't, because this is something we all need to see at least once every 6 months and do this exercise at least once every 6 months, okay? So here's what that is. I just want to make sure we're recording. So your squeeze pages are arguably the single most important element in your marketing. Now, I realize that there are some who will say, well, wait a minute, what about the sales page or the webinar, whatever closes the sale? I actually think that it's the other way around. I think your squeeze page is the mother of the sales page. And if you get your squeeze page right, you can actually have a sales page that doesn't perform quite as well and way beat out your a sales page that's perfect with against a very small list. Okay.
Don, I have a really dumb question.
Yeah.
I guess I have a little confusion between a sales page and a squeeze page. Does a squeeze page always contain a lead magnet?
A squeeze page's only job is to get people to opt in.
Okay.
So usually it contains a lead magnet. Every once in a while, it's something else. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
But a sales page is designed to get people to either put their credit card number down or sign up for the call where they talk to you or whatever. Okay. So the conversion on a squeeze page is an opt-in. The conversion page on a sales page is a sale or movement towards sale. That makes sense? Okay. Good question, Gretchen. Thank you. All right. So let me just show you some numbers here that I have actually seen these numbers work out over and over again. And so it's really important that I show you this. So let's just imagine that however this happens, send 10,000 visitors to an opt-in offer. Okay. So if you get 10% of those to opt in, that means you get 1,000 people from it. Okay. 50%, you get 5,000. And hey, if we do 80%, you can do the math. We get 8,000 people to opt into that. So the question is, it's the same 10,000 visitors coming to the same page, but if we shift our offer and so that we go from a 10% to an 80%, we get 7,000 more people. So we get increased impact because we get 4,000 to 7,000 more people just by making that opt-in offer more appealing, and it affects your income. So I'm going to show you another page here that assumes that you are able to convert 1% of the people that opted in. Okay, so if I got 1,000 people, I'm going to convert 1% of those, which would be 100 which would be 10 people, right? 10 people. Okay, so here we go. If your price point was 500,
can I ask one quick question? Does that
yes.
1% for a single offer or 1% over the lifetime of that person?
For a single offer.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for asking that, Michelle. This is 1% for that single offer.
Okay.
Okay. All right, and I'm just using round numbers to make it easy. So if you got 1,000 opt-ins and you converted 1% of those on a $500 deal, that means you made 5,000. On a $2,000 deal, you made 20,000. Okay, now let's go to the other end of that. What if you got 8,000 opt-ins? So that 500 gives you $40,000. Or the 2,000 gives you $160,000. So the difference is $35,000 on a $500 offer or $140,000 on a $2,000 offer. And the only difference was that you had a more effective opt-in page that started the entire process. That's why I personally believe that the single most important page on your website is your opt-in page. It's also the reason, by the way, why I keep saying you should have 30 of these. But let's just stay focused on one for right now. If we can get that opt-in rate to go from 10% to 80%, we just potentially put another $140,000 on our bottom line. And that's per launch. So if you do, as Michelle was referring to, 5 launches to that person over a period of, let's say, 3 years, and they're launches for different products, you could potentially make a whole bunch more when you start considering lifetime value of that person in this process. So does that make sense, what I just showed you? I know it's numbers and some people just don't like doing numbers, but does it make sense what I showed you? Can you nod your head in one direction or another, just so I know? Okay, all right, thank you very much. So let's do an exercise.
The numbers make sense, Don, but does the 80% make sense?
Okay.
That's
actually, thank you, Michelle. You're really getting it today in terms of that. So I actually cut a slide out of this. There's a slide that I had in here that had 1,000 versus 5,000, because a 50% opt-in is a totally reasonable thing to do. It's totally, I regularly score between 60 and 90% opt-in rates on pages. And so I had a 50,000 up there, a 5,000 opt-ins, which is a 50% opt-in rate, but it was like too many numbers. And I found that people check out on that number before they get to this page, so I can't show them the 140,000. And so it's basically 80,000. So this 160,000 number here becomes 80,000 at a 50. No, it doesn't. It becomes 5,000 times 1%. Let's do this correctly. 5,000 times 0.01 is 50 purchases at $2,000. That's 100,000. Okay. All right. So again, makes sense. So let's go on and do an exercise here. So here's what I'd like to invite you to do. I'd like you to consider your main offer, or if you're a person who has several offers, can choose one right now. Okay. And I'd like to invite you to have something that you can write on, whether it's a computer screen or a piece of paper. I'd like to do an exercise right now. Okay, here's the exercise. We're going to do this in 2 steps. The first one is, what are your target audience's biggest needs related to the product or service that you offer? And I'd like you to write, I'm going to give you like 4 minutes here. I'd like you to write at least 10. Okay. And so it may not be that they're all the biggest, but we're just putting them in. We're trying to get big needs, not little teeny tiny needs. Okay. So 4 minutes, go.
Question. Is this is related to our product or service, or is this related to the opt-in offer?
This is related to the product that you're selling.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay, go.
Are we talking first level benefits or second level benefits?
First level benefits.
Okay.
That's a very sophisticated question, Chris. Okay, 1 minute left. Okay, how did we do? Is that an easy exercise, difficult exercise for you? Okay, let's go now to the second half of this exercise, which is almost as important as the first half, which is this. What are your target audience's biggest needs outside of the product or service that you offer? So it's not saying generically, but your target audience is very interested. So let's just take Dee's business for just a minute, okay? Dee's product is helping people build their downline so they can sell to them. But when I refer to outside of that, I still want to stay within the area that you're doing, but besides building downline, they need to know how to sell better. They need to know how to hold a recruiting meeting, whatever those things are. So they're things that are outside, they're not directly related, but they're related. That makes sense? Okay, so let's do another 4 minutes on this. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, time's up. All right, so now let's do one more step in this exercise. I'd like to take 3 minutes, and I'd like you to have you go through these two lists and write down opt-in incentives that you should offer based on what you see here, recognizing that you don't want to give away the store. You have to have something left to sell, but you can start to create the transformation in your opt-in incentive. That makes sense? Now, remember, these don't all have to be reports. They can be videos. They can be one-on-one consultations. They can be quizzes. They can be all kinds of things. Okay? So based on what you just wrote down, which is the biggest needs of your audience, what opt-in incentives could you offer? Go. Okay. All right. So let's talk. What insights did you get?
This is difficult.
Oh, yes, it can be. Is it fun? Was it fun?
Well, it's just, maybe I was thinking too big. For some biggest needs, within my service, clients need successful business projects. They need to save money on consultants. They need better business performance. They need a change nimble organization, skilled employees. And then outside, then it even got bigger. They need a culture that supports change, constant change. They need better enterprise strategy, not just in a department, but across the entire company. They need better working relationships from between departments. They need better leadership overall.
Okay, so what are some of the opt-in ideas that you came up with?
I didn't quite get that far. I was struggling with a whole.
You're still stuck on the first assignment?
Because I can't create an opt-in that can transform a culture. You got to do that from the inside. But I like the idea of I hadn't thought about one-on-one consultations.
Mm-hmm.
So I still need to grapple with this a little bit.
Okay.
I mean, I do see some things that I have already created that kind of fit into here as a quick PDF. But also what I wrote down is a little bit big.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Who else would like to share?
Well, I'm seeing not only ways that you can, create maybe an opt-in incentive, but you can write blog posts, you can do Facebook Lives, there's just other ways that you can utilize this list that you just had us create.
You stole my thunder. Not that it wasn't obvious, but basically this list can become your entire business. It can be other products, it can be webinars you can do, it can be blog posts, it can be live conferences you can hold, it can become everything. What we've just done, so when I have an undergraduate in business management with an emphasis on marketing, and then I have an MBA, a Master of Business Administration. So I've been through the whole strategy thing hundreds of times, okay, in different classes. And one of the most powerful graphics that, actually, tell you what, I'll draw it for you because I don't have it on the computer. So I'll just draw this real fast.
Somebody can sing the Jeopardy song while he's drawing.
Yeah, almost done. Okay. All right. So if we took a business and we outlined the way to make it work, I know you probably can't read that. It says customer needs in the middle. And then around the outside, we have finance and HR and operations and all the different functions of the company. This is the ideal way to set up a company. There's one more piece that goes into this.
Don, will you stop sharing your screen so I can take a screenshot when you put that back up?
Sure.
Thanks.
That's a good idea. Okay. Is that between those other departments and the customer needs, there's the marketing group. So the marketing group is the group that's in charge of discovering the customer needs and translating it so that the other departments figure it out. Okay, so though this doesn't apply to most of us because most of us are the HR department, the finance department, the operations department, and every other department, it's a model of business that I think is, personally, I think it's the core of everything that every success I've ever had, which is the first thing, the foundation of every single decision that I make, every single page that I build, every single webinar that I create, every single product that I create is, what are the customer's needs? How can I fulfill them? And if you make that be the core of what you do, you know, I've got 150 different products that I would dearly love to create. The problem is customers only need about 3 of them. And so even though I dearly love some of these other products, no one's going to buy it. And so I'll never create those products because my business is, the core of it is customer needs. And so if you have that as your foundation, everything we do is based on what does the customer need, and then we give that to them, your business will be significantly better in every single thing that you do. Does that make sense? And I know that most people say, well, of course, my company's based on customer needs. But when you actually look at what they do, in many cases, it's not. The product they created is the product that they know something about, so that's what they go create. And I look at it and I say, well, who will need this product? And they go, well, I don't know, someone will. It's like, no, that's not the way we do things. We do it the other way around. So let's take this exercise now and shift it from an exercise about this. And by the way, can you see the power of doing this exercise on a regular basis? I actually, every 6 months, I do this exercise. And I have pages and pages and pages, and I have databases of customer needs that have all been gathered. And whenever I'm like reading the blog post of somebody else's and it's like, oh, there's something that isn't on my list, I call up my document, I add it to the bottom of the list. And I periodically go through and I review that and I say, what are the things that aren't being solved for the customer the way that they should be? Okay, so the key to this is, personally, I find that it's pretty rare that it's the opt-in page that is the problem when someone is not getting enough opt-ins. In most cases, the problem is the thing that they're offering doesn't fulfill a customer need. So people aren't opting in because they don't need it. They look at it and they go, I don't need that. Boom, they're gone. And so to me, the core of a great opt-in page is to give them something that they really want. And so if you go and you look at your opt-in pages and you say, I wish I could get this to perform better, you may want to look at, what are you offering them? And is that something they really, really want? And if it is something that they really, really want, then we have to go to the next piece, which is the goal of the opt-in page is to promise them that you're going to fulfill one of their major needs when they opt in. So your opt-in page's purpose is to say, hey, this need that you have, I'll solve that for you if you'll just opt in. And so then every element of that opt-in page is devoted towards making and fulfilling on that product, on that promise, I'm sorry. So when I look at somebody's opt-in page, and by the way, this is one of the main problems that we have in today's environment. So I've been doing reviews of opt-in pages and sales pages. By the way, just in case you don't know this, I invented the term opt-in page. Almost 20 years, well, more than 20 years ago, I came up with this concept of giving something for free in exchange for their email address. So I've been reviewing these things for more than 2 decades. And what the one key thing that has happened in this world is that we now have these programs that produce really cool looking pages. And it used to be that I would say, you know what, everything else is great on this, but this page is so ugly that it's never going to convert. I rarely have to say that anymore because we have these cool templates that we just plug things in, and the page can look wonderful and not have good language on it to translate. So it's come back to be a copy problem where it used to be a design problem. Now it's normally a copy problem. But the other piece of that is that a number of these places, in order to make their pages look even cooler so that people will buy their page program software, have put a whole bunch of other elements on the page. And those other elements actually tend to decrease conversion. So let's talk for a moment here about what should be on your page, the core elements of a good squeeze page. Now, these are going to be in priority order. Okay. Number 1, a headline that grabs attention. If you don't get their attention, they're not going to opt in. Number 2 is an opt-in box. Better have that on your opt-in page if you want to get opt-ins, right? Number 3 is an image that either visualizes the benefit that they're going to get out of this or that shows them what they'll receive. So it can be a picture of the report, or it can be a picture of a person laying on the beach if the report promises them more. The end benefit of the report is they'll get more free time. Then number 4 is your privacy, GDPR, legal information. Literally, that is all that should be on an opt-in page in most cases. Now, you can test some other elements, but what I have found is they almost always lose. So elements, when you put more elements on the page, they actually tend to reduce conversion. So an about you. So here's the thing. These elements sound like they should increase conversion, but testing shows that normally they don't. Okay, so a lot of people think, oh, if I just put my little bio here, people will be more likely to give me their email address to get this report up here on the top. And in actuality, what ends up happening is those all become distractions. And the last thing you want is a distraction on an opt-in page. And so an about you page usually doesn't help. A testimonial usually doesn't help. I know, it sounds counterintuitive, but it usually doesn't help. A video. I have, in probably 1,500 tests of opt-in pages, I think I've seen a presence of a video on the page win maybe twice. That's it. Now, one thing that works really well is to put a picture of the video with a play button in it. That doesn't work. So when they get the message, oh, I have to opt in to get this video.
Oh, that's really tricky.
That works, by the way, and it can be new 12-minute video shows you how to lose weight or something like that. And when they click it, either nothing happens or a pop-up that comes in and says, enter your email address to get access to this video. Okay, but the presence of a video almost always detracts. And navigation links. So if you have that, when people come to an opt-in page, they should have 2 options: opt-in or leave. That's it. And I know you say, but I'm sending paid advertising. If they don't want to opt in, I still want to give them something. No, it'll decrease conversion and you'll lose money. Either opt in or leave. That's the only choice you have. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're giving them a headline, maybe some words that describe it, but rarely does that work, and an opt-in box and an image and your legal language. In most cases, I find that the more copy you put on it that describes what they get out of that opt-in incentive, the lower your conversion rate. In most cases, the ideal, in my testing over and over again, I find a great headline, a picture of the report that they're going to get, in an opt-in box. That's it. No description of 3 bullet points of what they're going to get in it, anything else like that. That usually detracts. Headline, picture, opt-in box, legal language. That's it. Now, this means your headline has to really, really work for you. And sometimes it's a headline and the headline, and then you just say, enter your email address to get this report. But the description that talks about it, that oftentimes ends up decreasing conversion. Okay.
It's such a shock. Just saying.
Is that a serious such a shock, or is that a
sarcastic? Yeah, it is actually.
Okay. All right. Yes, Natalie.
So, which is better for conversion? Having a button that goes to a light box for the name and email, or having the name and email form right on the opt-in page?
That is a great question. So 3 years ago, it was unquestionably you should have the button pop up a light box. Over the last year or so, you got to test it. Before, 2 years ago and 3 years ago, there was no question getting that to test it. Now, for some reason, the ones that actually have the opt-in form on the page oftentimes beat out a light box. I don't know if it's a technology issue. It might be.
What's a light box?
When you click the button and it pops up a form, and that gives you actually the form. So the form's not actually on the page. It's just a button. Okay. And then it pops up the form on the page.
Don, how are you doing this research?
Lots and lots of opt-in pages and lots of client sites and my own sites.
Huh, okay.
I think it's interesting that you mentioned that about the button, because I have Thrive themes, and I know recently they added some new templates. And I noticed that those templates didn't have the buttons. They just had the name and email on them. So I just kind of interesting that you would mention that. Right. And realize that Thrive Themes has the advantage that they've got hundreds of thousands of users out there, and they see and they can see, not personalized, but they see the data. Mm-hmm. So they can go see, oh, these are the kinds of pages that are winning and the ones that aren't. So, yeah. Okay.
Don,
yes.
Question. Hi. Do you have an opinion on those pop-ups that come up after people have decided to leave?
I definitely have an opinion about that.
Okay.
What do you think that opinion is?
That you probably don't like them or something, I'm going to guess. Or, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they actually get people to put their information in or not. I don't know if they work. But so, I have them.
They're called exit pop-ups.
Yes.
And not including an exit pop-up will cost you 50 to 80% of the opt-ins that you could be getting.
Wow. Okay.
So I hate them.
Yeah.
Everybody hates them. They work.
Okay.
Now, I will give you a warning. You can't use an exit pop on a page that you send advertised traffic to. So if you're going to run Facebook advertising to a certain page, just take the same page that has the pop-up on it, rip out the pop-up, make a copy of it, rip out the pop-up, and have people and send people to that from your ad. Okay. So I'm not saying don't do them. I'm saying just take the exact same page that you already know works with them, rip it out, and send them to that with the ad. Okay. Drives me nuts because it's a rule that makes it so hard in so many ways. Especially wait till you get to e-commerce. When you get into e-commerce, it's like, oh, it's a nightmare. Okay. All right. So how about if we do this? We've got another 45 minutes or so. Who'd like to show some of their pages? Show a page and let's workshop it together and see if we can improve or support what you're doing. So we'll do.
Yeah, I got one.
Excellent. So let's work on yours.
Of course, it breaks all the rules you just listed, but
okay.
We'll start with that. So I just share my screen so you can see it.
Yes.
All right. See it?
Yes. Okay. So everybody, first off, before we get into the details, what is your initial impression upon seeing this? Ignore all the rules I gave you. Just as a consumer, what's the first thought that went through your mind when you saw this page?
Lots of words.
I like the colors. But
okay.
It's too busy.
Information, not action.
I can't really see the picture.
Okay. So my initial thought was the same thing as other people. It's so busy. Immediately my mind starts. Okay, so here's the way our brains work. When you're exposed to something, the first thing your brain does is it makes a acceptable, unacceptable choice. And anytime that you put unacceptable pieces into that choice, the brain's initial reaction is, I'm out of here. To me, this is too busy and it doesn't pass the acceptable, unacceptable choice just because there's too much stuff on the page. That makes sense?
Yep.
So my gut feeling is you can test this. Tell you what, how about if we do this? We'll just say for the rest of this session, we're just going to talk about things to test. Okay?
All right.
We're not going to make any definitive answers. This is bad, this is good. All we're going to say is these are things to test. Okay? So I would definitely take out the description entirely. So everything underneath the first button.
Mm-hmm.
I would increase the size of that image. I probably would take out the ring binders because you don't actually give them something with ring binders. Mm-hmm. And that headline, the headline has so many words in it that it's not working for me.
And Ed, I don't know what a service package is.
Yeah, that's another piece I've been playing with. I started out calling it an irresistible offer. And then back in July at one of our little breakouts, Marisa came back with service package instead of offer. So I threw that in there, but I think I'm going back to offer.
And I know that we've had this conversation before. I work with so many different people that sometimes I get people's offers confused. Mm-hmm. What is it that you're selling?
The ultimate program that's being sold is essentially a 12-week program to identify ideal client and craft the offer that's actually going to be compelling for them.
In what industry?
Services primarily.
So plumbers and things like that?
No, more white collar services, consultants, lawyers, healthcare providers. Okay.
All right. So what you just barely said there, I think could be absolute gold. Is that I think you need to have this page for consultants this page for lawyers, this page for each individual one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the irresistible legal marketing checklist, you know, and that didn't come out actually right, but
Yeah,
one of
I
the
see where
things
you're going.
one of the things that is huge in these things is whether it's in context. So when someone comes to a page, the first thing they want to know is this right for me? And if you get their industry right, then it immediately says, oh, at least this is about legal, and I'm a lawyer, so I should look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, if I'm a lawyer and I come to this irresistible service package checklist, I'm not sure what that means at all, and I'm tending to be out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
I like your first person in your button. I like the colors. The image may or may not work. I've always liked little-headed people. So those would be the things that I would look at. Anybody else have questions, have suggestions?
Are you talking like those bubble people? What do you mean, little-headed people?
Just laughing at this picture.
Got small
the
heads.
picture on the cover is just a sort of a stylized illustration where the bodies are way bigger than their heads in proportion.
Don, do you have suggestions on what the buttons themselves should say? Should they be just a few words like click here, or do you is this this button with more words in it acceptable? Do you, how to describe the button to get people to do something?
What we usually find is if you can make the button be first person, it works
Okay.
better.
Okay,
Which almost always requires more words.
more words.
Yes. Oh, and here's something else. We also find in testing over and over and over again that the button needs to be, the color that's on the button is the only time that that color is present on the page. So I know your designer hates it, but Chris just wrote ugly buttons is exactly true. So I might be inclined to make that button be bright yellow or green or something that I purposefully choose buttons that contrast that. Chris said it well. I want the ugly button to be ugly. Calls attention to the fact that that's what we're trying to get them to do. Okay? So this orange color is appearing in several places. I'd lose it other than your button or change your button color. Okay?
So you don't tell people to click or to take whatever action. They're just supposed to know that, yes, I want my service packages to be irresistible. It doesn't look like a line. Does that really get people to know?
The button pulls up a light box that's the opt-in form, and then what they get as a download is like a checklist.
Okay.
Sometimes you could put, so right now it says download the irresistible service package. It's like click the button below to get your irresistible service package.
Is that more effective?
Probably would be.
Okay. Okay. Because that's what I use, and but I thought about making it more like this, more friendlier. This is a friendly button. Yes, I want.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Dee just brought up a really good point. She said something about, I really like the first bullet point. One of the things after reviewing a whole bunch of these is most of the time I find the real killer headline is buried in the subpoints that people make. So you may want to look at that. I like that.
You're
I'll
saying
think
that
about it.
first
So I
bullet
gotta have
point
this.
Might make a good headline.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not even be the 9. So for a while, I do everything in internet years. So 5 to 8 years ago, there was a trend where if you said 3 tips and you had another one that said 5 tips, another one that said 9 tips, 9 tips would out convert the other 2. it seemed like people just wanted more stuff, or say 45-page report shows you how. What we find now is that people just want simplicity. And so I actually have taken the numbers out of many opt-in incentive descriptions. So it's no longer 5 ways to. Now, that still, by the way, works in blog posts, but it doesn't seem to work in opt-in incentives as well anymore.
I think, Don, you said to us, when we spoke about this earlier on in the year, you said something like the number 1 way to blah, blah, blah. Field.
Oh yeah, that's still my favorite way.
That's your favorite. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Ed, why don't you unshare your screen?
Yep. Hey, wait for somebody to stop telling me there's a comment so I can turn it off.
And there's some good suggestions here. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Except wait, let me do this. There we go. There.
Okay. Good. Thank you, Ed. I love it when the first person who jumps in. Okay, who's going to be second? Well, I could use a nap. We could just end this right here.
I don't have a squeeze page yet.
Okay, that's all right.
I'll jump in.
Excellent, Abby. Go ahead.
I got to get to the page. Give me 1 second here.
Okay. Somebody else want to go? If you all want to get your page up so that we can jump right to it real fast when we get there. Or someone wants to ask a question while Abby's getting there, that's fine too. Michelle, the way the lighting is right now makes you glow like an angel.
It doesn't make me look ghoulish.
No, you're glowing. You look very nice.
I should not be glowing from lights at 5 in the afternoon here. It's winter.
Yeah, something's wrong when at 5 o'clock the sun's going down, right?
Okay, this page is, oh, I didn't share. Hang on a second. So this page is a copy of another page that I'm kind of cloning the idea. And it's got all the stuff you say, oops. It's got all the stuff you say not to do.
Excellent. I love good bad examples. Okay.
So this is a thank you page from a quiz, which is, opt in for this free call.
Great. Yeah, lots going on this page.
Yep. Let's chop it.
Okay, so let me just throw out something about quizzes. Who here has a quiz? Or wants to do a quiz?
Wants. Yeah,
okay.
Wants.
So here's what my data says about quizzes. If you would like to triple to 10x your opt-ins from your quiz, there's a really simple way to do that. That is to do exactly the opposite of what most people do on quizzes. Okay, so here's what most people do on a quiz. Take the quiz, and if you want to know what the results of your quiz were, opt in to get the results. Here's what really works. Take the quiz. Congratulations, you are an armadillo. Here's what an armadillo means. And you tell them all about being an armadillo. And then you say, if you'd like to know how to apply this in your life or business, opt in below and we'll send you a personalized report that shows you how to do that. Can you see the difference? One of them says, you just gave me a whole bunch of data. I'm not going to give you any information until you opt in. What does that do to us? It makes our stomach go clench up. I'm out of here. The other way is, I just gave you a quiz, and now here I'm going to give you this amazing information, And now if you want to know how to apply it in your life, give me this and I'll send you a personalized report. All of a sudden that clenching in the stomach becomes an opening of the heart and everything comes out and everything goes, oh, I want this. Because who doesn't want to? Because what happens with the quiz, when you get done taking a quiz and you read it, you go, they got me. They understand me. And then you tell them, now, let me show you how this applies. They really, really want that because you understand them. Okay, so that's generic. Abby, that doesn't apply to this as much, but I wanted to throw that out when I saw this was about a quiz.
Yeah, actually, you gave me the text for the top line on this. It went with my money karma diagnosis or my money karma quiz. So this is for a conversation, a one-on-one conversation, right? So I'm inviting them from the quiz. In this case, they get the quiz in their report in their mailbox at the same time they're being offered this.
Okay.
So this is for a one-on-one call, a chatterbox conversation, basically.
All right. So, you do tell them. So I've actually read that headline 3 times, the pre-head, and I never got that you were saying that the quiz is already there. So it may just be a formatting thing. First thing I would do is I would take your sales anxiety quiz results be in your email box in 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Make that first.
Okay.
Then I would put a space below that, and then congratulations, you're qualified. Your results qualify you for a free one-on-one personal sales anxiety diagnosis. Click the button below to sign up.
Great. What kind of picture would you like to see? And do you want to see all this headline and all that, or just the text that you just said?
I'm inclined to cut the whole page below the button.
Okay.
And again, we're just talking about things to test right here.
Sure. Well, this page has never been used. This is just cloned of another page. I'm just getting it started.
Yep. And so I think you could show an image of someone with anxiety, hopefully associated with a phone or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a good image. And I also, your button right now, yes, I want to know if sales anxiety is limiting my success. If they're just took the quiz to find out if it is, they already know that it is.
Right.
So
well, they will. Well, you're right, because they know.
Right.
They know anyway.
So the promise is not to find out if it is. The promise is how to fix it, right?
Right.
So if we go back to that, to the exercise that we did, which is what are their needs? Their need is to get it fixed. So yes. So basically what you're doing here is you're not telling them if it is affecting their success. It's let's have this personal consult so that I can help you overcome your anxiety associated with sales, your sales anxiety.
Okay.
So the promise is that you can help them fix it.
Yeah.
Not to identify whether they have the problem or not.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, I'm so sorry. I do so much like one-on-one coaching that I just tend to just answer people's things immediately, as opposed to letting you guys all jump in and give your thoughts and feelings, which are just as good as not better than mine. So who else has thoughts, suggestions?
There are also testimonials at the bottom. I'm going to cut all that out.
Yeah, I definitely would.
I've been a little bit confused looking at this. Okay, when I look at this part up here, and I think as you take out all the parts you said, but I'm confused with the quiz has been taken, the results are already on their way. It's not super clear to me, even though when I read it and hear the discussion now, I get what I'm opting in for. But I think, Abby, somehow the connection between the quiz and what you're offering could be made clearer for me. What are you, now that you take off everything Don said, what are you ending up with as your copy on the page?
I'm ending up with, it starts with your sales anxiety quiz results will be in your inbox in 10 to 15 minutes. And then it says, congratulations, your results qualify you for a free one-on-one sales anxiety diagnosis.
Oh, I see. So you're keeping that, you're just moving it down.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of change it up and make the whole page totally different based on that.
But
and it makes sense to me. It'll be so much clearer.
But I guess that the personal diagnosis could come in a report, like Don was saying. It isn't super clear to me that I get you.
So if I say one-on-one sales anxiety diagnosis, maybe I need to add call.
Maybe it's not a sales anxiety diagnosis, but a sales anxiety coaching call.
Oh, okay, that's great.
Yeah, a personal sales anxiety. Yeah, that tells it more, because I get it because of the discussion, what you're doing. I think it's great, but I couldn't follow it from the copy if I was just reading.
Yeah, yeah.
And with Abby Rora.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So.
Because they might assume it's somebody on your team, or you know.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
I would also, the button is square. I just wonder if it doesn't necessarily look like a button to me. I wonder if it could be more circular, if that might make it stand out more as a button to actually click.
Yeah, so this is Thrive Themes. I got to figure out how to do the button better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're just rounding those corners a little bit,
Yeah.
which, by the way, you're talking to somebody with anxiety. Nice sharp corners sounds scary.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds really minor, but I bet you that if you tested a button with square corners versus a button with rounded corners for sales anxiety, the rounded corners would win, is my guess.
That's really interesting. I never thought about that.
I was thinking of like a round coin. It doesn't, a coin shaped. It's, because you're really talking money. You're not saying money. Well, you're not saying money anywhere, but that's what you're talking about, and that's what you are as a money coach,
If you did that, I would definitely put language either just above it or in the button that tells them that this is a button that they need to click.
Mm.
Because most opt-in buttons aren't round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And limiting is misspelled.
I see that. Yeah.
It's a special language.
But I'm gonna change the language is gonna go anyway.
You don't work with limiting. I think you have 2 or 3 different spellings of it. So that's, it's beyond your range.
I should put my glasses on when I put this together. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it seems right in the headline.
All right, I think we made some good progress on this one,
Right.
don't you?
Thanks a bunch. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Good, Abby.
Would you just have all the same font and colors as well? Because here we've got a lot of different colors.
Yeah, we're basically going to go down to the black, the orange, and possibly a green in there.
Yeah.
So I do like the color that find out in 30 minutes or less. I like that color better than the green is sales anxiety. It just feels a little bit more 2019-ish.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Okay. Thank you. Can you unshare your screen and let's see who's next. Thanks, Abby. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'll go. I'm just putting the finishing touches so we can shred it, you know.
Okay. I love it when people are doing things real time. Okay.
Okay, let's see. I should just keep it in the edit mode so I can edit as you tell me.
So by the way, everyone, Marisa is doing her EPM launch right now, as you're probably very well aware. Marisa is one of the really good webinar creators. And if you had time to be able to attend her webinar anytime in the next 3 days, I think it'd be good for you just to see how she does it. So just throwing that out while we're waiting.
I've already signed up for her Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. Saturday.
Okay. All right. Natalie, you want to actually don't tell us about this page. Everyone, let's just look at it and throw in your comments.
I love your hair.
Ed, you didn't say that. What is this? What's wrong with you, man?
Would this be one of those times where selecting the best web class time maybe should be in a pop-up?
It is in a pop-up. Oh, I don't know how to make. I think we're at the limits of my tech skill here. We're at the outer edges. I don't even know what's going to happen when you click those yet. Something good, I hope.
Something will blow up.
I'm going to put this out here. Do you think that under Bill O'Hanlon and Natalie Hill, there should be some kind of credit to them, who they are, what you've done, something spectacular, your name, like, something about your business, something, because it looks just to me, Bill O'Hanlon and Natalie Hill, and if I don't know who you are, I think that would make more impact if I knew that you did something, which I know you've done stuff. So I'm just trying to think if there should be a title or maybe some other reference to.
There used to be a lot more stuff. Before this training, there was a lot more information. It's just, yeah.
Okay.
Well, you may want to, you probably could do something like with Bill O'Hanlon, New York Times bestselling author, and Natalie Hill, former Las Vegas performer.
No.
Pole dancer from, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Certainly I could come up with something.
What about something a little more compelling? And I have no idea if this is on par, Don, with what works, but something, attention, authors, workshop leaders, coaches, do you want more impact, more income? And then the subheader, how increasing your impact can double to 5x your income. It seems, it seems a little flat. It doesn't, I'm looking for what gets me excited.
Yeah, and I think beyond flat, to me, it just seems like vague. So I look at it and like, okay, I've gotten like 15 emails about webinars today.
Mhm.
This one just sort of blends into the background.
What blend? Ed, tell me more about. I didn't quite catch that.
Well, I look at it, so more impact, more income. Okay. There's no context for it for me.
Mhm.
And I think that may have been what Gretchen was responding to a little bit too.
So let me come back and bring up a very important concept here. When I was talking about taking out your description of what is in the special report or whatever it is that you're doing as your opt-in incentive, that's actually a different animal than a webinar.
Mm.
Because remember, we got to sell them on attending the webinar.
Mhm.
So you got to sell them on making time in their schedule to show up at the time that you are suggesting and coming to that.
Mhm.
So I would, in fact, it's pretty rare that I see a webinar sign up page without like 3 things you're going to learn in this webinar,
Okay.
outperform one that does have that.
Okay.
And I want to know how long is the webinar? Is it 30 minutes, an hour? Is it 5 hours?
5. I'm just kidding.
Why?
No,
So
it's
the best answer is 90-minute webinar.
yeah. 90 minutes, that's going to likely go to 2.5 hours if I follow what I just learned from Dawn.
Right. Very good.
Hopefully
Okay.
go to 2.5 hours.
So my suggestion is, I liked Dee's suggestion at the very first. I would have the date selections be on the pop-up. I would have a single register now button.
Okay. Okay.
And if you can produce this page, you can do it on the pop-up because it'll be the same thing. Though you're using Kajabi, and I don't know for sure how Kajabi does this, but
I'm doing this in Entreport.
oh, I'm sure Entreport is smart enough to figure out how to do that.
Okay. All right.
And,
Okay.
and Don, when you say that, when you say a single register button, nowhere else is there the time, or in the register button, is there a Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday information somehow?
So what I would do is I would put three showings to fit your schedule in small type above the button that says, and I probably would have the button say register now. This is one of the times webinars are a different animal than other things. And so let them click register now, and then it brings up the page at the bottom with the 3 different options.
Okay. So would you, okay, never mind. You already told me. Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys.
I'd cut out the central time. I just do Pacific time and Eastern.
Okay. Would you do?
And I probably would write out Pacific and
Okay.
Eastern.
Okay.
Okay. Melbourne is, Sydney always works better than Melbourne.
Okay.
I know we're getting really minor here, but just throwing things out.
No, appreciate it. And on the pop-up where it has these 3, would you have them in 3 different colored buttons? I know they're not exactly symmetrical and everything. You would? Okay.
I would.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
And is it good to have, you said before, like having your own bio or picture or something detracts from conversions? What would you say about that here?
Absolutely.
Take it out?
Take it out.
He just said to say Bill O'Hanlon, New York Times best-selling author, and Natalie Hill, pole dancer, or whatever I am. You know.
So one phrase is fine, but a whole little bio about you actually decreases conversions on webinar pages as it does on opt-in pages.
And you would almost never have your own photo there as part of it. It would be more of an image of the results that were going to be bullet pointed.
In a webinar, I like to have a picture of of the person who's doing the web. Okay, so okay, this is a great question. So for a webinar, so the thing you all don't realize about this maybe is that this is going to Bill O'Hanlon's list.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, and so one of the things that putting his picture there and her arm around him says, okay, oh, this is Bill. Oh, he must approve of this Natalie person because he let her get close enough to put her arm around him.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's good to have the person whose list it is going out to's picture in there, and if you are a guest, to have your picture in there also.
And did I understand correctly with Ed that you were saying when he was speaking to lawyers, consultants, different people, to have kind of a separate page for each? Did you say that?
Yes.
And what about, because when I read this, I get lost when I get to experts. What does that mean, an expert? You know, I mean, I know what an expert means, but you know, if it said free web class for experts in your field or something, you know, but if when it has authors, workshop leaders, coaches, would you have a separate page for them or not? For a webinar?
Okay, ideally, if I had the ability to segment his list and only send a portion of it to just the authors on the list, and it's separate mailing to the people who are just workshop leaders, that would probably give you better conversion. I doubt Bill has that data. He might have done an ask campaign and broken them out. In that case, then that'd be great to do that. And that's a really good point. The challenge is that unfortunately, authors, workshop leaders, coaches, and experts, they tend to get grouped together because we all tend to do all of them. So
is experts clear enough to just say this is a web class for experts?
I don't know very many authors who consider themselves to be an expert. Expert is an explosive term that we all deal with. Anybody who works in this business, because the word people don't feel like they're an expert. I have a PhD in this. I'm not an expert. There's other people who know more than I do. So experts is an explosive word.
You guys should take it off.
Why don't you put coaches and consultants?
I find the blue line under that heading a bit distracting.
This blue line right here?
Yeah.
Oh, this one down here? Or,
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Actually, let's do some, but don't take it out yet. Don't take it out. I want everybody to do something. Squint your eyes, look at the page. What jumps out?
More impact.
Okay, what else?
Photo.
The photo and the blue line underneath the photo.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you have, you should always do the squint test. Anytime you have an element that is not essential to the communication on the page that jumps out in the squint test, you probably blew it. So that blue line, that one right there, I would lose that. Boom, it's gone. Okay.
Say that again. Anytime you don't have what?
Anytime you have an element that jumps out when you do the squint test that is not a key element in the page, then it's probably fighting, because people's eyes are drawn to those elements. That's why we do the squint test. Okay, so let's not do this editing on the fly. Okay, good. We have 7 minutes. We have time to do one more, or we could chat about the weather or the Packers game or whatever you'd like.
I would like to ask a question if you don't, but if somebody wants to do one, by all means, prioritize that.
I was gonna go, but mine is it's bad. So I already know what needs to get fixed on it. So, so please ask your question.
Let's do your question, Michelle.
I wanted to ask about, I'm really confused. I understand that assessments, quizzes, surveys, those kind of things get a high response. Am I correct with that? Yeah.
Generally, as long as the first page that gets people started into it promises a solution that is valuable to them. That makes sense?
Okay, that makes sense.
Can't just say this is a quiz and everybody goes, ah! But if it's a quiz that the result is something that feels valuable to them, then yes.
Okay. And it seems to me, knowing how assessments and surveys and things like that are done in more of a academic setting, it seems like when I sit down to do this or see other people's, it feels like they just make it up, and the
Yes.
results and the whatever. And I don't know if I'm missing a big point there, or if that's what we're doing, is just making this stuff up. And then secondly, I would guess that that takes quite a while when you have those pages, and then here's a report, and you can be an armadillo, or you can be a donkey, or you can be a whatever, and here's a report for each. That's a big. It sounds like if you're going to do all that, it's pretty predictable that if you do it well, you're going to get a big result from it to make it worthwhile. Because that's not a 2-hour opt-in.
Yes, very good. Very good. And both of these are really good points, Michelle. I always love having you on calls. Personally, if I see a quiz that the first question or two are clear, this person is making something up here, I'm out of there. I don't even complete it, right? But if it feels more like a personality, a DISC analysis, or a Myers-Briggs or something like that, okay, now this one feels like it's got something behind it. Now, the question about just making something up is a whole nother situation. You know, how do we do these so that they feel like they are giving, like there's going to be value coming out of them? I don't know how to explain the answer other than you sort of know it when you see it.
I'm considering it more like, how do I mean, when you do it is my, from my side of the fence is when I make one of these, what validity does it have? Usually when you do something like that, there's criterion for doing it. And it seems like in this business world, if you can get people to fill it out and like it, and maybe, I just want somebody to tell me, yeah, that's all you're doing, is getting somebody to fill it out, like it, and say, help me, but it just, right. I like the idea of it, but I squirm when I think of doing it.
So I've had an idea for like 6 months for a quiz that I want to do, that I've not gotten done because it feels like work. So I feel a little bit of what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. And probably the reason why I've not done it is because I've not yet, as soon as I figure out the way that makes me comfortable, that I'm actually giving them back a feedback that is valuable, mm-hmm. and that could be validated possibly with work, okay, then by all means I'm going for that. Haven't gotten there yet. That's one reason I haven't done it yet. So there are people who would argue, hey, you got them to opt in, even if you didn't have something validatable. I don't like that world. That's not me. And I'm sure that's not most of you. But at the same time, you can go take a love quiz, Does he really like you? Go to Cosmopolitan, look at those. And there is a very comfortable middle ground between the DISC assessment and Myers-Briggs and those things and Cosmopolitan's Love Quiz. There is something in between there that actually is pretty valuable. Actually, I drew Cosmopolitan's Love Quiz on the other end of a scale, and it's probably not. It's probably more the middle ground. You know, if you know 6 signs that he really is attracted to you and doesn't just want you for, you know, a fling or something like that, you could encapsulate that into a quiz that could be very valuable. That doesn't have to be scientifically validated or anything else like that. So I don't know that I can enunciate the answer to that question.
So what I'm getting is it is a lot of work to do it, but it would probably, but you're suggesting it would be worth it to do it because of the opt-ins you'd get. And
those opt-ins tend to be more valuable than a normal opt-in.
And you have to have it somehow, it has to be grounded in some way. You know?
Well, I think if at the end of it, when they take it and they see the results, they go, Michelle got me. If you're showing things to them that they feel like, how could she know that about me? That's grounded. That's valuable.
And then couldn't your quiz also be just a way for you to segment maybe what phase?
Yeah,
business.
the traditional Ask campaign thing, that's not really a quiz, so I wouldn't bill it as a quiz. It could be help us better serve you by letting us know where you are in your business right now.
Okay, so you don't really
That's not a quiz, that's just another question in the opt-in process.
Okay.
But if you go out, you look at Perry Marshall's marketing quiz, that's done huge things for his business. Jay Abraham has done an amazing quiz. It's more of a questionnaire that at the end of it, it's like you just know you have to hire him kind of thing. So there's a number of those things that are out there. It's probably not going to be a 2-hour opt-in like most of them are. Okay. All right, Janine, let's answer your question real quick, and then we need to close.
Yeah, so, excuse me. Excuse me. I just wanted to know about the URL to park these pages. So, I mean, I have my page on yourvirtualdreamteam.com / and then I just named it 5 ways download. That's the name of the document, the opt-in that I'm giving away. Should that title be something else? Should I buy a separate URL just for the opt-in page?
Probably not worth it to do that.
Okay, so how do you name it then? Do you have should I name
Ideally,
the
if you can have a benefit in the name.
Okay.
That's good. And go from there.
Okay. Benefit in the name. So it's not titled.
So realize, the way I choose those domain name, those file names for the URL is, I think if I had to give this on a podcast, what would I want that name to be? So short, easy to understand vocally, easy to spell. I don't want any requirements that there's a capital letter or a dash or anything else in there. I want it to be something that someone could hear on a podcast and go, cool, and type it in on their cell phone right there.
Can you give an example of, say, Ed's or Abby's, what they've used today, just what that domain might look like? I have problems naming these things. Or Natalie's or something that we saw today.
So let's do yours for just a second. So your 5 ways is what? What's the report about?
It's 5 ways to turn a VA into a profit center and have them pay for themselves. That's the opt-in that they receive. But I just have it listed as 5 ways download because I can't come up with anything creative. So I was asking you if there was
VA profits.
be a profit. Okay, so totally not even indicative of what I'm giving away. Just this VA profits.
Yeah.
Okay. Easy. Okay.
Okay.
2 words. 2 words. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right, everyone. Has this been valuable?
Very.
Yay.
That exercise we did at the first is
Yeah.
gold, by the way.
Mm.
Spend a couple of plane flights doing that exercise, and it'll be really valuable. And then just remember, keep it simple on your opt-in pages. Give them a headline and an image that really work. We could talk about images. Go do something on Canva if you have to, on Fiverr if you're not talented in this stuff, and just have something that looks really good. Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody. Take
Thank
care.
you. Thanks,
Bye.
everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Don.